Well, almost come to the end. But before we do, we would like to make a couple of awards. So first of all, I'd like to invite Karen Blackett, OBE, who is the WPP country manager for the UK, to come to the stage and give out the first two awards. Just before Karen does that, I'd just like to say this is a new award, which we will find an opportunity to give it to the Google team for being the #1 brand. But the significance of this is not just the #1 brand. It also, on this side, has, I think I would say, the definitive essay on actually what is a brand by our very own Jeremy Bullmore. So if anyone's got really, really great eyesight, they can come over and read it. But the award itself is a manifestation of what a brand is. Oops. Karen. So, Karen, I'd like you to, if you wouldn't mind. No, you can't have a gold. The first award goes to Amazon, and it's as we've heard already, the top long-term riser awards, and Caleb Hill to accept it for Amazon. Thank you. Oh, hang on. Yes, sorry. Thank you very much. Thank you. And the second award goes to Microsoft for the most valuable B2B brand. So, Scott. Lovely, thanks. Richard. You to stay here? Yeah, the two of you should do this one, and then I'm going to hand over to Richard. Richard, the third and final award goes to the most disruptive financial brand. We've talked a little about how you made a lot of enemies on the way, but certainly friends now. To PayPal, Rosalind Young. Thank you. Lovely. Okay, thank you very much indeed. Well, Richard, yeah. So I'd now like to hand over to Richard, who runs one of the largest parts of Kantar Insights division globally. Just to close today, from me, that's it. You won't hear anything more from me again today. Thank you very much indeed. On the way out, please take a bag. It's got the report. It's every word is an insight in that, and the book, which we gladly give you. There's food and refreshments out there. Thank you very much indeed for coming, Richard.
Thank you, David. So normally I find panellists and panel discussions a little bit boring, but you guys were amazing. I thought that was a really, really good session. So thank you very much for that. And the thing that occurred to me, and this is just really my only thought, the thing that occurred to me during that session was that if we'd have come 15 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago to a session like this with your predecessors, apart from the fact that they would have been different companies, they would have spent almost all of the time talking about communication and advertising. I don't think you talked about that at all. And actually, I think what you did talk about, and it's really ironic in a world where we have politicians that increasingly tell lies and exaggerate, and certainly in one country, but many others. The theme that really came through that for me was around truth. If I had to pick one word, is you talked about true purpose. In fact, your dream teams all had a really true purpose behind them. You talked about true innovation, so innovation that consumers actually respond to rather than you pretend or you talk about and nobody actually buys. You talked about truth in experience, so delivering the promise of the brand. And to some extent, you talked about true love. Maybe not absolutely, but love anyway and love for the brands. And I think in the world we live in today, the idea that brand building is about building the truth is really interesting, particularly to brand builders of yesteryear that would have thought that brand building was about building myths and telling lies. So my final hope is that Amazon's Washington Post, perhaps I shouldn't call it that will be my dream team, is that everybody behaves like the Washington Post and acts with integrity and builds brands that are true and honest. In today's world, I think that's what we really need. So thank you very much for presenting. Thank you to Doreen and David and team for doing your thing. And thank you very much, everybody, for coming. I hope you had a nice time, and we look forward to seeing you here next year. Thank you.